The ever-changing political arrangements have been the result of fluid political affiliations and often insatiable demands for powerful positions amongst the parties participating in these marriages of convenience. The metros of Johannesburg, Tshwane and Nelson Mandela Bay have been the poster children of instability of coalitions, which ordinary citizens have lamented.
I don't really have much confidence in the parties at stake, and what's been promised has never been met.
And do you trust politicians in our country?
Well, not really. Not all of them. But yeah.
While coalitions having becoming a regular feature of the country's politics, with the ANC's previously invisible position eroded over time, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula urged delegates at the ANC Women's League conference earlier this year that they must work hard to avoid being in these political arrangements.
We will work very hard to ensure that it returns to power without asking from anybody. Decisive victory and decisive majority in this country. We have lost power, comrades, in the municipalities, in Johannesburg, in Pretoria, in Port Elizabeth. We have lost power in Ekurhuleni. We must work to retain power in those areas. The coalitions are very unstable because majority of our people did not come out in their numbers to vote. We negotiate in terms of the law with 2% political parties, and they tell us what to do.
However, even as it rails against coalitions, the governing ANC has sought to put a framework in place to regulate them. In August, Deputy President Paul Mashatile, as head of government business, together with the Department of COGTA, hosted the National Dialogue on Coalitions at the University of the Western Cape. Government officials, political parties, academics and other stakeholders attended the dialogue.
The frequent collapse of coalitions at local government level, which, as we have observed in some instances, it is deliberate and unrelated to the pursuit of public good. So many in some of these institutions, as they collapse this institution or as they seek to do and arrange their coalitions, it's not about the people, it's about themselves and what they can achieve, what they can benefit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we in this dialogue today must be able to address these challenges.
COGTA has proposed legislation for discussion on coalitions, with Minister Thembi Nkarimeng saying that coalitions can work if they are properly managed. The proposals include stipulating timeframes on when a party must form a government after elections, the publication of coalition agreements to ensure accountability, and possibly the most controversial, the introduction of thresholds.
You need to be elected by a certain number of people, but also a party that has gained the highest percentage needs to be given a right ticket, the first pass of ticket to negotiate within a particular time frame to form a government. We could then agree if they can't, the ticket passes to the next one, or you just close as you did in Abakulusi. This is the only municipality in the country in 20 years where they were in one time unable to form a government, and we dissolved, we went back to elections because there was no agreement and there was no form of tangible activity that could be put into council. And I do believe that coalitions are a reality of democracy, but managing them is what government needs to be able to learn.
Unsurprisingly, the ANC and DA are in agreement with the proposal that the political party that has the majority in any municipality should determine how administrations will run, including who will hold the executive mayoral position. COGTA is now working on a national framework for coalitions with the hope of it being finalized before the end of the year. Mashatile says the report can be useful for existing coalitions and those that form after the general elections.
Also concerned whether you want to rush the framework because you anticipate that in the coming elections in 2024 there will be a need for coalition, and we kept saying not necessarily, but there's already a reality on the ground in municipalities where this framework is needed.
2023 also saw the establishment of the multi-party charter, a pre-election coalition that comprises of 8 political parties, namely the DA, IFP, FF+, ACDP, Action SA, Isanko, UIM and SNP. The aim of this pact is to bring the ANC below 50% and keep the EFF out of power.
The name of this agreement is the Multi-Party Charter for South Africa. The nature of the agreement, it is the form of a pre-election arrangement. The vision for South Africa, a new government to build a just, inclusive and prosperous South Africa based on opportunity, freedom and security for all its citizens. Priorities for the new government: growing the economy and creating jobs, ending load shedding and achieving energy security, achieving law and order, ensuring quality education, deliver basic services through high quality infrastructure, building a professional public service that delivers to all, and ending cadre deployment, ensuring quality healthcare within a caring healthcare system, and building a social relief framework for South African households living in poverty.
Meanwhile, a Human Science Research Council survey study ahead of next year's elections found that the prospect of coalition governments is unlikely to whet South Africans' appetite to vote, according to Research Director Ben Roberts.
We asked, do political party coalitions make you more or less likely to want to vote in elections? 29% said it would reduce their appetite to turn out party coalitions. 37% said it reinforced their interest in turning out. And probably about another third were sort of more ambivalent.
The new year will inevitably throw coalitions into sharp relief, with the prospect of these arrangements moving beyond the local level to provincial and possibly national government level. Natasha Piri, SABC News, Johannesburg.